say your Oregon experience has been so far?
Very quick, and it's very pretty, and I'm on caffeine, so I'm able to enjoy it more.
Very good. Are you ever gonna come back?
Yes, definitely.
Excellent, excellent. How are you doing? Hello? You?
You.
How are you?
Who's you?
You!
You.
Luke!
You.
How are you doing?
Luke is fine.
Luke is just fine. Great, where are we going today?
We are going to get food and more caffeine.
Woo! It's a big tea day. How many tea houses will we hit up?
At least 2.
I'm so excited.
2 is the minimum. Maybe we can hit up more.
Cody was one of Luke's groomsmen and also our tea master at our wedding. He served tea during what is normally just a cocktail hour, but it was also a tea hour, and it was very fun, and we love him, and we want him to stay. So it's part of what this trip is for us. It's just convincing him to move here. I'll keep you posted as to whether we're successful. Off to Portland.
Bye,
I will see you
Kaylee.
later. Bye! What'd you think?
So it sounds like cold drink.
Hi Kaylee, it is Monday. I do want to talk about everything we did in Portland. As you can see, we're back at home. I'm back in our tea room. Basically, we met up with a bunch of tea people and tea bloggers and people who are like, who know people in the tea industry, like really know people. But we had the best time. I wish we could have stayed for longer, but at the same time, it felt like we had a good amount of time with these people. I don't know, not a moment was wasted, which was super nice. They're all super hospitable and wonderful. Anyway, I got a job! Woohoo! And now I have to sign a ton of forms and do a lot of paperwork, and I want to do some research about the position I'm gonna be in. I'm gonna be a marketing associate. Fancy. Gonna be learning more about that. While I am trying to get stuff done, I was not getting anything done for a little bit. So I decided to brew some tea that Cody, our friend, brought us, which was super sweet. We were FaceTiming him a couple months ago, and he showed us this tea brand called Snarky Tea. I'm not gonna read them because YouTube doesn't like that, but the one I'm brewing now is called Dandelion Detox, so not really that snarky. So I can say that one on here. Yeah, just after trips, I don't know why, I feel like super bloated. It's because I'm like eating out all the time. I know traveling does weird things to you, so I'm gonna be drinking this. It says, sometimes your soul craves a carrot, other times it screams for spaghetti. Trust your gut and find your balance with our gentle daily detox tea. It's like an apology for your liver. Health, humor, and happiness. That's basically what Snarky Tea is all about. Here, I'll show you my setup. Here's what the office is looking like right now. And these right here are, sorry, that's just the noise of the kettle. They're aroma cups. So basically what you're supposed to do, you put the tea in here. Oh, I forgot to get a pitcher, whoops. You put the tea in here and you brew it, and then you put it in the sharing pitcher, and then you pour from the sharing pitcher into an aroma cup, and then you leave it there for a little bit, and then you put this cup on top of the aroma cup, and then like flip it over in a way that doesn't spill or break anything. And then you pull this out and you smell this, because tea isn't just a tasting experience, it's also an aroma smell experience. So you smell this and then you drink the tea. So that's kind of how you get the most out of your tea, is with aroma cups. This is one of Luke's Gaiwans. It's so cute, it has a bear on it. I think it's called like Blue Bear, the name of the Gaiwan. I don't know, I'll have to ask him, but I love it. Alrighty, I'm drinking the tea now. It is good. And Kaylee, I was just watching your videos and I want to address something. So, you said that there was a time when we were in Napa and I ordered soup at 8 in the morning, and then they said they didn't have it because it was 8 in the morning. Okay, yes, weird. To other people's standards, 8 in the morning is a weird time to order soup because I wanted it, and it was Denny's. Denny's should have soup. Denny's should have food at all times in the day. Yes, it's ridiculous to go to Denny's and order soup at 8 in the morning, but it's more ridiculous to go at 3 a.m. after your closing production and sing at the top of your lungs the entire show and order food at such an ungodly hour. So excuse me for ordering soup at 8 in the morning. Anyway. So Kaylee, it is Tuesday. I just went in for a drug test, so I had to pee in a cup. you know, just the normal thing you do. So I have a big girl job now, and on the way over here, even though it's just like a drug test and like pre-screening like job stuff, I was getting like really anxious. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I was like, am I having anaphylaxis or what's going on right now? And then I was like, wait, no, I can breathe. Like my chest is rising and falling, my nails aren't turning blue. Like I really have to walk through this. Like, am I dying? And yeah, so I was just having like a very physical reaction. I think it's because I haven't eaten yet. Whoops. So we're gonna go home and eat. But the girl was super nice. She's like, I love your sweater. I need to know where you got it. And I was like, it's thrifted, but if it's not weird, you can look at the tag. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're my favorite person ever. So I like bent over the desk and she pulled and looked at the tag. That little thing like instantly calmed me down. I'm like, oh, we're all human. I'm hardly wearing any makeup, so I'm gonna go fix that when we get home. Luke has lunch ready for me. We're supposed to play pickleball, but I hadn't finished signing all the forms, and so he didn't play pickleball. He was kind of sad, so hopefully we can go again sometime this week before I start. But yeah, my first day is Friday. It's this week. I start on Friday, going in at noon, and that's just crazy. Like, this is the start of my career. That's a scary word. Exciting. Hi Kaylee, you wanted to do OTDs this week. Kind of dropped the ball since it is Tuesday and I upload tomorrow. But this is what I'm wearing. This is the sweater that the girl complimented and wanted the brand name. It is Parkhurst, Canada. I'm also wearing Doc Martens and Lulu's. And I feel like one of those Bama Rush girls. I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's like these sorority girls who Luke's camera work is making me laugh. It's those sorority girls who'll be like, today I'm wearing Shein, I'm wearing Balenciaga, and my bracelets are Louis Vuitton. What are you doing? I think this is the first time I've had you film me. Anyway, this is what I'm wearing. It's chunky sweater season. Bye.
Wait, can I get a video of you throwing the leaves in the air? Please? No, up. Ah! Got my drink.
I look like it's nighttime. I kind of wanted to talk about my reading journey and what that's looking like now. I haven't started reading another book since The God of the Garden. I want to start finally doing it. I'm going to start reading Brandon Sanderson. He's kind of known as the master of fantasy today, and everybody loves him. His books are extremely highly rated. He has 1 billion accolades. I'm gonna start reading my first Brandon Sanderson book. It's gonna be from the Mistborn series. I think it's called like The Final Empire. So I'm gonna start reading that. I said in my last video that I wanted to get to my 25 book reading goal, and I assume if I read this I probably won't, but who knows. That's what I'm gonna do now.
So this is the time of day where Luke takes the blankets and my pillow and has me get up because he's made me coffee. Usually I'm asleep during this time, but I was reading Mistborn because it's super good. I like your striped pajamas. Thanks. You're cute. So our bed gets rolled up every morning, and so do those mats so that we have more space in this room during the day. Cheers.
Walking.
Wow, I look like it's morning. Let's try it out. Wow, that is really, really good. Good job. Good morning. So Luke went and played pickleball with Noah, and then he went over to their house to play Smash Bros. I have to stay here because we're having a freezer delivered. Jill's parents got us, I don't know if they're called deep freezers. One of the freezers you keep in the garage and you put on sale meat in. So the delivery should be around 11, so I have to get ready. So I'll take you along for that. All right, this is what we're going with today. I really like it. I think it's from Target. Super cozy. Yeah, you got me this. I'm wearing Lulu's again, and I'm just have slippers on for now, but I'll probably change into Docs a little later. All right. Hopefully that stays. So I'm gonna do hair and makeup. I want to talk about the book I'm reading right now, and also what my weekend in Portland was like. Right now I'm reading Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I didn't want to read Sanderson for the longest time. I know I'm brushing dry hair. It's so thick, I need to do it, okay? I have always heard that Brandon Sanderson is one of the best modern voices in fantasy, and by modern I don't mean like the modernist movement. I mean like he's still alive and still writing. I didn't want to read him. I was super resistant, and it's for the dumbest reason ever. It's because the covers look like those like awful smutty fantasies, and so I wasn't for that. So I decided to give him a shot, especially because a friend recommended and was like, hey, his writing it is high fantasy, but it's like pretty casual, pretty like readable. Even though it is set in like a fantasy world, they still talk like you and me, which is very strange. And so I was like kind of intrigued. Or my second motivation to read Brandon Sanderson was listening to a literary disco podcast. It's actually hosted by Ryder Strong, who plays Sean on Boy Meets World. I discovered that podcast through the Boy Meets Pod podcast. I've been listening to so many podcasts lately, highly recommend. And so, or Pod Meets World, not Boy Meets Pod. I discovered that podcast, and it's called Literary Disco, and it's literally all about books, and it's just Ryder Strong and a bunch of his friends. I listened to their fantasy episode, and they had Brandon Sanderson as guest, and he had a lot of good things to say about fantasy, some really beautiful things to say as to what it does for you in your mind. He said that like fantasy is very similar to exercising, and it's exercising your brain, it's exercising your creativity, because it actually takes your brain a lot of brain power to imagine and create, even when just reading a fantasy world. So reading fantasy is great because it expands your imagination. Well, we're adults, why do we need a good imagination? You can't be a visionary, you can't make the world a better place unless you can imagine a better world. The people who can imagine a better world are the people with the greatest imagination. People who read fantasy, people who read fairy tales, people who read things that expand their heart's capacity to make the world a better place, which I thought was so beautiful. And so I was like, all right, Sanderson, I'll give you a chance. So I started reading it. Right off the bat, I was like, wow, this is kind of a twist. It's like The Lord of the Rings, but if Sauron had won. Like, it starts the book off from this like horrible society, and so instead of the good guys being in power trying to fend off an evil that plans to overthrow the land, it's kind of like the thieves and who are planning a rebellion. They're the good guys, but they also do things that are questionable, which I really like. I love the complexity of that, but I won't give too much away. I'm just gonna say that you should read it. Anyway, that was a long rant. I'm gonna do makeup now. Alright, the next thing I wanted to talk about was my weekend in Portland with Cody, and he's a tea blogger, hosts a talk show called Blissfully Tea Drunk. He knows a lot of people who live in Portland just through the internet, and he planned a tea meetup with them, and so we all drove to Portland and met up with them, and we went to 3 different tea places. One was, I think it's Thai, I'll put the name of it here, but it was really good. And I had a hoji chow, which is a roasted twig tea, and then we went to a place called Smith's Tea Makers, and a lot of the tea bloggers we were with were a bit skeptical because they're mostly known for their bagged teas. This is Tarte, by the way. It's not the Shape Tape, it's Tarte C. And so we went to Smith's Tea Maker, and one thing that was crazy about them is that they had flights of tea. Like, you know when you go to a brewery, you can get a flight of beer. It was flights of tea where they had like 3 different teas laid out that you could choose, and they had a little informational card, and they had like the loose leaves in front of them. So at that one location, like Industrial Portland, you can get flights of tea there. And they also have tea pairings. Like, they have tea and chocolate flights or tea and macaron flights. You can get different tea pairings with them, which I thought was super unique. One of them was like, I feel conflicted. One of the tea bloggers, that is, I feel conflicted because this place sells mostly bagged tea, but I like how the flights kind of make loose leaf tea more accessible. I would agree. I think people just don't know that loose leaf tea is an option until someone introduces it to them, and I think that's such a good way to do that. So like, people come for the bagged tea and stay for the loose leaf. What a beautiful thing that is. The last place we went was a place called Fly Awake, and it looked on the inside like just a normal hip coffee shop that you would find in Portland, but it was a tea place. And what's weird about that location is that there were people who joined our party who didn't even know us, and they just like asked to sit down and talk to us. That's just what I learned, is that that's just kind of how the tea community is. Like, there's just this inherent expected culture of hospitality, and just like, yeah, come sit down with us. Like, it was just so weird to be like, we're in a big city, and yet these people who are specifically tea people are some of the most approachable, hospitable, kind people I've ever met in my life. I need to get better at this. I'm using the Hoola bronzer. No one really uses it anymore. Everyone uses the Charlotte Tilbury drops, but those are gonna be out of stock until Armageddon, so this is a good interim, I think. Anyway, we ended up staying at someone's house who we didn't know at all, and he kind of just welcomed us in. He was so nice, and he's like, yeah, anytime you're in town, just come and stay with me, and it was just like crazy. And then he made us tea too, and we just had an amazing conversation, and it's just like such an un-American thing. Like, if you go to other countries, people are used to hosting people, wandering travelers, and that's what we were. And we just stayed at someone's house, and it was just a good time. In conclusion, tea people are hospitable, kind, beautiful people who have expertise, are not pretentious, and just truly enjoy not just tea and all of the traditions behind it, the community that it creates. So I think that's all I have to say rant-wise, so I'm just gonna continue doing my makeup. This is a Tarte Man Eater. My friend Jess, who's an art major, actually picked this out for me because I wanted to pick out a different shade, and she's like, no, that won't work with your skin tone. Like, she's one of those people who understands color theory so well, and she understands like the undertones of people's skin and what colors will go well, and so she picked out this one. And on the box, it had a picture of a girl who was wearing it, and it looked awful on her. I was like, Jess looks terrible, and she's like, yeah, because she doesn't have the right skin tone for it. You do. And I put it on, and I was like expecting to hate it, but I loved it so much. I used it on my wedding day. I didn't expect to like a cream blush that much because I had never used it. Also, this is a Benefit Gimme Brow. I don't know what brand this is. This is Revolution highlighter. I like it because it's curly. I think mom just gave it to me wedding day. I was like, I need a highlighter, and she's like, keep it. That's just our mom for you in a nutshell. Sorry, that sound in the background is our vacuum. We named him Hoppy. He's like our little pet. So for eyes, what am I gonna do? This has become like a daily palette for me. I got this on Black Friday, and it was selling for like $15 and it was normally $40, and it was a seasonal palette. So this is Cinnamon Swirl, and these are all the colors. Warm tones look really good with eyes, blue eyes, not just with eyes, with blue eyes. And so I really love these. You can obviously see which ones I use the most and don't use at all. But I use that and combination with ColourPop palettes. So I use this Mandalorian palette and this Darth Vader palette that mom got me. And I also use this Disney Princess Midnight Masquerade from time to time. I'm gonna start with this color called Doughboy. Luke also loves this palette because of the one that's called Frost Those Buns. I haven't lined my eyes in so long, so I'm a little afraid to attempt. But I think I might do it just because why not go all the way if I'm doing like a pseudo makeup situation here. And now I'm gonna go in with this palette. These are my two go-to colors for this. I might skip this color for now and go for this one. It's called Stormtrooper. It's kind of like a pinky shimmery color. ColourPop is known for having very pigmented colors but not the most blendable colors, but I find their shimmery shades to be quite creamy and easy to blend. Alright, so that's enough of that. I feel like Ariana Grande whenever I do my hair in this style. It's a little messy, but it'll do. Alright, so here's the look we're going for today. I'm wearing Charlotte Tilbury pillow top. I am ready now. So in this game you can catch fairies, and in other Zelda games they're just little like balls of light. But in this game they actually have like bodies and faces, and they look so sad when they're captured. Whoa, what a whirlwind. Hi Kaylee, it is still Wednesday evening. It's around 7 o'clock. I've been reading pretty much since Luke left. I took a nap, but I was reading the whole time. I am addicted. I am addicted to this book. It is so nice to be like obsessed with story again, but I think Luke's gonna be kind of annoyed with me in the coming days because that's all I'm gonna wanna do. I was gonna do other things tonight. I was gonna vlog some things. I am gonna put away laundry and edit and do those kinds of things, but like I looked at the time and I was like, wow, I've been here for a while. But it must be a really long book because I'm only 30 minutes into it. I'm not 30 minutes, 30% into it, and I've been reading for quite a while, like since last night. So I don't really know how long this book is, and I think that plays to my advantage. The Kindle, you can't really have a concept of your progress unless you have certain settings on it, which I don't, so I'm kind of blindly just reading it at my pace and seeing where I get. But yeah, must be a long book. And there are like, I think 6 other books that follow this, so I don't know what I got myself into, but I'm enjoying the ride. But Kaylee, I will see you on Sunday. Bye!